founder and CEO of Middleton Murray, which places thousands of young people aged 16-25 into jobs and apprenticeships each year. She's also the author of How to Get Your First Job and Build the Career You Want. Asking for some private advice later on. A lot of parents of teens, I include myself, assume that your kids have got to stay in full-time education until they're 18, and GCSEs is not the end of it. It's not where the matters rest. But actually, you say an apprenticeship counts as full-time education. Some of the people opening those envelopes today can move straight into apprenticeships.
Absolutely. There's huge opportunities across the country for apprenticeships for 16 to 18-year-olds. And I think when the new legislation came out, it very much was understood not only by parents and children, but also by teachers, that meant that they had to stay at school. But it doesn't. What it means is that they need to continue in further education, but actually going into an apprenticeship, so starting work, but actually learning while they're earning, actually qualifies as staying in further education. And I mean, I just checked this morning, and even just the advertised vacancies for apprenticeships in London and Kent alone, there's about 2,500.
Unfilled?
Unfilled, advertised right at this moment. You can just go online and find them.
Yeah. Some people will look at it and think, but what's the pay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about further education, from the age of 16 to 18, your main focus is to learn things and to stand you in good stead for your future career, isn't it? It's not about, earning the most money that you possibly can. The great thing with an apprenticeship is you are achieving, the academic learning as well as the job experience, but you are actually getting some sort of pay. Now, it's not obviously the target pay, but there is a minimum pay. It certainly will cover any expenses, and that's more that you would actually get if you were at school or even indeed at university later on.
Oh, we know there are areas where there are real skills shortages, don't we? There was a report out earlier this week about the building sector crying out for skilled craftsmen, the builders, the sparks, the plumbers.
Yeah, and same with IT, and I'm sure that there are jobs and vacancies that are going to exist in a few years' time that we don't even know about and we haven't even heard about yet. So the apprenticeship route is, it is a very viable route, the same as, staying at school, getting your A-levels and going to university. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but certainly at this point, a very important day when everybody sort of opens their envelopes and gets the results, it is something that certainly they need to consider. Yeah. It's a very real option. It's the foot on the, the first step of that, critical ladder into your career. So, and there's a multitude of opportunities in all of these different sectors. And it doesn't involve all that debt. Only yesterday we were pointing out that the first fortnight of the university term, we're talking about nearly £3,000 of debt on average, first fortnight. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge amount of debt, but as I say, I do think that these are both viable. I never want to put anybody off of, one or the other, because, the debt is manageable, and as we know, you have to earn a certain amount before you pay that. But of course, if you're in an apprenticeship, that could be a stepping stone to university ultimately as well. At the age of 16, what you can do is go into a 2-year apprenticeship, get the equivalent of A-level qualifications and then apply to university.
Actually, we haven't got long, but you place a lot of people, you talk to a lot of employers. A lot of employers used to grumble about the fact that they were seeing people coming through now who didn't have the soft skills that they felt were necessary to deal with people, perhaps too much time spent on computer screens. What's your sense? And
we still see that. I think that schools are so focused on helping youngsters achieve qualifications that often they don't feel that they've got the time to actually develop the softer skills. I think that is changing. Certainly I'm seeing now in schools that they are making a real effort to embed some of those softer employability skills, because at the end of the day, your qualification is just one aspect of your whole persona, and in the end, an interview, it's going to be how you come across and your confidence and the way you present yourselves and how passionate you are about this particular job role. So some of these skills are critical and they ought to be embedded in the curriculum.
Really interesting. Angela Middleton. Thanks very much. I'm not presenting myself very well this morning. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much.